Well, football is, of course, ultimately just a game, but for the next 2 hours, it might not feel like that. The stadium is full of noise and energy. This certainly matters. Just listen to that noise. This place is definitely up for it. Let's hope we get a contest worthy of the setting. Well, we're on the way.
Well, this is a real privilege, Peter. There's an iconic number 10 below us.
You refer, of course, to the great Zico.
I do indeed, arguably the best of his time, and while he thrived in the number 10 role, he could play in any offensive position on the pitch, really.
We'll just sit back and enjoy him.
An easy watch, Peter.
Mohamed Salah. Mohamed Salah has a look to the possibilities, but in the end it's fruitless. Paz. And here's Mohamed Salah. Aimed in towards the centre. And he gets rid in a hurry. Threads one in. Costa Curta. Nice sequence of passes, this. And he's there to belt it away. He was only too happy to take that back. And here's Mohamed Salah. Well played, that has snuffed out the danger. Zico, and they can counter here. Pass is just off target. Well, the idea was a good one. The execution of it, not quite so.
Yeah, he just didn't seem to get enough on the pass, Peter, did he?
Oh, beautifully shaped ball.
Yeah, the crowd have tried to spark some excitement, but to no avail. This needs something explosive.
He steps in, and that's the end of that. Zico, played into space. He's just misjudged that one. Well, that had the makings of something quite promising, but it's fizzled out into nothing.
They want to be quick here. It's breakaway time.
He's a sharp little ball here, showing good feet. And he's managed to get free. Cannavaro gets it clear, and he's there to retrieve it. Now it's Mohamed Salah. I'm not sure how the stats look in terms of expected goals, but nothing actual has materialised so far. Cafu. And it's Son Heung-min. Played back. Passing is crisp and sharp. Now there's a fine ball. Kimmich clears. Paz. Now it's Mohamed Salah. He has found the way through. Paz.
Oh, really well played.
There and the finish! There it is! Half time rapidly approaching. That could be a big one. And we hit half time. Well, there were plenty of talking points in that first half, but just the one goal. It's still anybody's game here.
On the evidence of what we've seen, they're worth their lead. There was genuine intensity and purpose behind what they brought to the game. I think they want a strong start just after the break, though, to force the issue that bit more.
Leading 1-0 at the break. And if you're just back from your break, you've missed very little chance! Well, that is commitment to the cause.
Well, height could make all the difference on these set pieces.
No, he's managed to misplace that. And now they can spring out of defence. And he's being shifted off it. Messi. And here's Son Heung-min. Ibrahimovic. Ibrahimovic! That is decidedly lacking. Darren Fletcher can so cleverly bypass the press. Built as the single goal between the sides. Now it's Mohamed Salah. Manchester United appear to be happy to let their front players stay up front all the time.
Well, it's signalling to the opposition that they're setting themselves up for the counter-attack. It's plain and simple.
Cafu, looking for options for movement. Your impression so far, Jim?
Well, Peter, if they're attempting to see out the game with such a narrow advantage, there's room for trouble. I just think they're sending out the wrong message. This could backfire.
Cafu. The only breakthrough then came late in the first half here, and that is the difference. And the score is 1-0. He's come in hard. Danger averted for now. And this is Ibrahimovic. And he's found a way past. Now it's Mohamed Salah. Just a quarter of an hour to play. And here's Son Heung-min. Cafu. He's found the way through. Climbs up big. They've scored. Right back in it. Game still on. One sweeping move, executed with deadly efficiency.
Manchester United are such an adept counter-attacking team. They produced something out of nothing there. A few seconds was all it took for them to convert a defensive situation into a goal, and it's very impressive.
That has certainly made things interesting.
Well, needless to say, Peter, they're eager to get going, but you have to wonder how much these boys have left in the tank.
Nicely weighted ball. It's not an especially good pass, that. Pass is coming off in quick succession here, and it's Forlan.
I think we might be done here, Peter. I don't see there being enough time for them to try again.
And here's Son Heung-min. And this is it's Ibrahimovic!
The keeper was likely to need his best there, and he found it.
Has been indicated.
Zico.
That's just playing it safe and simple.
Added time is up, and there goes the whistle. Decent game of football, that. Intense, intriguing, and both sides, as it turns out, unable to be separated. So, Jim, how do you reflect on what we've seen?
Cerezo Osaka certainly had some good moments, Peter. There were plenty of...
Well, what a scene we have here. There's a real expectant buzz in the stadium, and the players on the pitch are raring to go any minute now. And the mood is boisterous. It is a perfect ambience for the central characters who are ready now to perform. And that gets things running. What an impressive figure Oliver Kahn cuts.
Yeah, they call him the Titan, Peter, and the reasons are fairly obvious. As personalities go, we're talking big.
As close as you get to goalkeeping perfection. And that's aimed into the middle. And he'll shoot here! Oh, that was a half-decent effort. Rummenigge. Now it's Forlan. Mateus. Azar. Nicely aimed pass. And he welcomes it in. It's loose, and there's a race. Can he finish? He scored! The breakthrough strike! That really is quite fabulous. All his own doing.
I'm not making any apologies, but I was willing him to supply the finish, and he came up trumps.
I doubt very much that this was in the script. Tries to pass it through. Well, the run has been sold a little bit short there.
Well, everything up to the final pass looked decent. They just couldn't pick out that killer ball.
And that's been won straight back. Oh, this looks sharp. Now it's Mohamed Salah.
Cerezo and Xhaka are really in a position where patience and prudence will serve them best. Time's on their side.
Azar conjures time and space where few can. Lovely pass, but can he get there? Deftly away. They're back in possession and ready to go again. Lewandowski finds himself offside. Knocks it into space. And this is Mohamed Salah. Swept in.
Okay, it didn't quite come off. The execution, I think, needs a retry, maybe with a better outcome. Okay, being behind at the break isn't ideal, but there's plenty of time to reply.
Well, he was clearly disappointed with that pass.
They should have done a lot better there. The final ball was very poor.
Rummenigge showed plenty of zest in getting to the ball, but couldn't quite sort it out. Short changes him with that pass. Passing is crisp and sharp. Oh, it's just a little long. Not the best distribution from the keeper.
There will be 1 minute added time.
He might be it. He's going for goal. Good efforts, and it is right on half-time. So a steady, solid and more than satisfactory first half. They've got the lead, and that gives them something to build on after the break.
Hello attendees,
It's a dressing room that needs rousing at half-time because in truth they've not really been at it so far. If the pep talk works, we may see a very different side second half. We need to.
So we're straight back at it at the start of the second half.
Cerezo and Xhaka really need to bring up their intensity and rhythm a notch or two, Peter. Just looked a step too slow on everything.
And here's Mohamed Salah. No question, this is the man you want to get onto the end of things. Nakamura. Hazard. That looks a decent ball. And it's Nakamura. Elbow goal, needing to go up a gear. That's how it looks here. Now this could be a chance. Tries a shot! They've done it! And there's the goal they've been looking for.
Look, that was a technical interaction of great football. That has gone down a treat.
So that's two now without reply.
We're looking at a very different game now. The command has been established.
Marquinhos, always a very imposing presence at the back. And he's being shifted off it.
Well, that was well positioned and well pitched. They can't hurt with their backs to goal.
Tries to play it through. That pass isn't the best. Kimmich. Pass is coming off in quick succession here. Some resolute defending there.
Well, Peter, just see here how a lot of the attacking players aren't dropping back anymore.
And that means just one thing, I suppose.
Yeah, they just simply want to engage the counter-attack.
That has ended up in no man's land. Forlan is offering some sort of an apology there.
He made it look a bit predictable.
Couldn't squeeze it through. Paz. Now it's Vitinha. Lewandowski. Kimmich. Into the last quarter of an hour. Now it's Mohamed Salah. Nicely weighted ball. Vitinha. Now it's Hazard. Rummenigge. Now it's Mohamed Salah. He's a sharp little ball here.
Cerezo Osaka are certainly now looking like a sorry lot. They haven't got a proper defence or attack, for that matter.
Vitinha. Odo. To Hazard. Good defending there. They've slammed the door in the faces of the opposition. Vitinha. Looking for the run. Kimmich. Oh, good-looking ball. Time added on will be 2 minutes. Nakamura. Aims beyond the defence. And there goes the final whistle. Performance of perspiration, work rate, grit. And those are very good qualities that might have got them something on another day. Sadly, not today.
And a quick announcement today that
How would you sum? So bring it on. Hype, expectation, emotion.
Hello,
The game yet
everybody,
to
and
kick off.
welcome to
The
today's
excitement
match.
already palpable. Just listen to that noise. This place is definitely up for it. Let's hope we get a contest worthy of the setting. There's the whistle.
Well, Peter, there's goalkeepers, and they're great goalkeepers, and then there's Oliver Kahn. He's in a league of his own.
While he is a goalkeeping icon, isn't he? The man famously known as King Khan by some. He's belligerent, he's brazen, but he's utterly brilliant.
And never in a mood to accept failure. There's that body language he's always talking about. No wonder he instills both respect and fear in opponents. When it's delivered early like that, defenders just can't get themselves set.
Vicious ball here. Costa Curta cuts it out. And that's put paid to a promising move. That's really well manoeuvred. Good ball. There's the shot! Well, now it's a race for the ball. He's been caught napping. Good-looking ball. There's a beautiful simplicity about this contest. Willing running on one side, dogged defence on the other. Oh, it's a nice idea, but the execution was lacking. Well, a glitch with the rangefinder there, and evident annoyance.
Clearly is miffed, having made the run and not get picked out.
Great ball, and he's in here. And that has earned a few nods of approval from the bench. And we have our very first corner. Defending of the desperate variety. And now a sudden chance to counter. And this is Ronaldo. Plenty to aim at. Oh, shooting chance! Loose ball now, and there's a chase on to retrieve it. Facing up to his adversary, this is a formidable matchup. And it's safely in the keeper's hands. Not the most accurate pass. Paz. Rummenigge. And it's Forlan. Cannavaro gets across to intercept that. Well, that looks a decent ball. Thinks about the shot. Mateus. Well seen. Saw that coming.
That's great positioning. So good from him.
0-0, but nevertheless a very decent game. Mateus. That's Forlan. Well, that was a period of possession which carried just about no threat at all. And it's Seedorf. Kimmich. Paz. And we hit half-time. So we go in at half-time with both defences still yet to be breached. They rather cancelled each other out in the first period. Let us see what the second half brings. So they head in no further forward. The score here, still 0-0. And the action is back underway.
Well, both sides are eager to get going. Here's hoping that it's a good sign. Things are about to change. We need a little more life in this.
That has been cut short. Looking for the run. He's got through. Boom, header just off target.
He did so well there. It's just a shame about the accuracy.
No, that was never going to make it.
Mateus. Well, yet another interception and a show of anticipation to be commended.
Looking to play him in. And this is Marmouche. Shoots! That is fabulous. A true beauty of a goal.
Well, it's one of those, Peter, when you've got to take your hat off and just say, too good.
So the first moment of real significance.
Well, it looks like a bit of half-time encouragement was all that was needed, because we have a very different game on our hands now, Peter.
Now it's Mohamed Salah. Passing is crisp and sharp. And he's cleared it out of harm's way. Referee's given a throw. And here's Forlan. And that is expertly dealt with.
Well, it's definitely the right attitude and application, Peter. They've got to keep pushing.
Well, they're looking a whole lot more urgent now.
Well, the question now is whether they can sustain it.
Now it's Cristiano Ronaldo. Mamouche. Sergio, what are you thinking?
Well, the time has arrived to start taking risks. They may well be happy just to level this.
And he's intervened well there.
Cerezo Osaka really aren't making anything meaningful of their time on the ball.
That's been intercepted.
That was well played, well stopped.
Defending was strong and firm.
That's good pressing. It's really squeezing everything. Heracles clearly have been instructed to kill.
Decent chance! He should have put that one away.
Well, for me, he seems to be playing with a lot more zest now. He does look the most likely to grab that second goal cushion.
It is looking like the end. If anything's going to happen, it's got to happen now.
All they need is one big chance, and it may do the trick.
The final 5 minutes. Pass is coming off in quick succession here. He has a look up. Goes for a shot! That's a half-decent try.
That is a really good chance missed, Peter. Certainly the way he's been playing.
And it's Salah. Pass.
It will be 3 minutes at a time.
This looks promising. That's a bad place to challenge. What's he giving? And that is a huge moment in the context of the game. He knew what was coming. That's a yellow card. So seemingly that was deemed a denial of a clear goal-scoring opportunity.
Well, Peter, I don't think he even had time to blink. This is just a spontaneous reaction.
So this to restore parity. That has drawn gasps of disbelief.
You couldn't ask for a better opportunity to equalise, but now he'll feel like the opposition have just scored.
And that will be the final act. Quite a game, and one that was always on a knife edge until the very final whistle. No shortage of endeavour, effort, at times effervescence, but just Well, what a scene we have here. There's a real expectant buzz in the stadium, and the players on the pitch are raring to go any minute now. Colours vivid and vibrant, songs loud and proud. The tone for this game is well and truly set. So it's down to business here. So Jim, tell me this, who are you looking for in particular here?
Yeah, Kylian Mbappe. There's nothing more frightening for a defender.
It's there!
Well, once more, it's him. And we can't be surprised because his instinct for doing this is incredible.
The movement so precise, the finish sumptuous.
Look, if you want to be effective on the break, then the key element is always pace. That's what really rips defences apart. And it's difficult to find an answer to it when it's applied like that.
So the game, decent chance! It's loose and there's a race for the ball. That's a look and place it forward. Well timed, excellent interception. That's really well manoeuvred. Knocks it into space. Yaya Toure. Linton.
Cerezo Osaka really can't go chasing this game too soon. Any rash...
There's the shot! Really well taken goal. They are really purring here, and they have extended their lead in the blink of an eye. Wonderfully smooth, smart, and slick.
It's the stuff you work on.
He's having a shot! Just cruising! They are cruising! A quite incredible spell. They are flying. It is a good finish. The odds were against him. Little matter.
Such a well-worked finish. It looked like he was going to be shut down, but he thrives in situations like that.
Barcelona find a position of real strength now.
Well, they're very much the better team at the moment, Peter, and no doubt will be looking to cause even more damage here.
Mateus. Rummenigge. And they win it back again. And this is Van Basten. Kimmich. Mateus. And Paz. Rummenigge. That has been cut short. Reaching half-time and still behind. Can they make something happen now? Oh, this looks sharp. Now it's Hullet. That's been slipped through. Now that's well seen too. Cannavaro. Oh, it's a promising build-up, this. Plenty of really nice passing. Hullet. Well seen. Saw that coming.
That's great positioning. So good from him.
Rummenigge.
2 added minutes has been indicated.
Linton. Now it's Van Basten. That's a shade optimistic. Here's the whistle for half-time. Well, the mood in the two camps couldn't be more different as they go in for half-time. Elation on one side, misery on the other.
Just a quick request today for everybody to please kindly remove any cars parked on the road outside the stadium.
And we're underway again. So, 45 minutes to turn it round. And this is Van Basten. Linton. Well, it didn't look good for a while, but that was brave defending, and they got away with it.
You know, it was an intervention that had to be made.
It's loose ball now, and there's a chase on to retrieve it.
Well, it seems as if he's just had a momentary lapse and slipped into tunnel vision because he had good options around him and he failed to get his head up.
Oh, well played, well sorted out.
There's no doubt it's a long way back, but they can at least give us something to believe the gap might be closed.
Linton,
If they want to counter, they could do with more speed.
Dixon, Kimmich, just about up to the hour now. Now there's a fine Mohamed Salah! And the keeper has shown real class. He had to be at his very best.
Oh, what a chance. He probably had more time than he realised.
And we have our very first corner. Oh, what a climb! And again, he scores! And there is his 30th goal. So, just a consolation, or is there a way back from here? Now it's Mbappe. Pass. Now it's Mbappe. He's cut it out. Kimmich. Forlan. And Paz. Nice looking ball. Cannavaro spots it and intercepts. Mateus. Kimmich. Passing is crisp and sharp. Great vision. Ferdinand promptly onto that, and that is that. Bullet. Oh, just skips past his man. And Baston was ultimately thwarted there, but it took a few of them to stop him.
Well, he's not the type that's short on self-belief, so that could rub off on his teammates now.
And the finish! It's a goal! As simple as you like, the outcome utterly inevitable.
Well, the defence were being far too casual there, Peter. Far too slow to switch on to the danger. That's the kind of thing that makes managers go crazy.
This is threatening to become a... And he shoots! He should have put that one away.
Kukçu really can't believe it. He let the opposition off the hook there, and he knows it all too well. Cerezo and Xhaka really are showing all the necessary urgency, but it's potency they need.
He's shifting through the gears here.
Cerezo and Xhaka really don't have a choice now. They just have to throw everything forward and give themselves a chance to draw level.
There will be 3 minutes added time.
Look, there has to be more urgency here. The ball has to get to the other end much faster.
Pass is coming off in quick succession here. Tries to play it through. Referee looks at his watch and blows his whistle. Well, that was intense, an enjoyable contest that either could easily have won, ultimately decided. Well, what a sight this is. The colour, the choreography, the camaraderie. The fans have pulled out all the stops to make this a monumental occasion. Well, it looks like a big game, sounds like a big game. Everyone involved is absolutely up for it. So that's got things underway. Who do you think this turns on, Jim?
Well, a player who's often talked about as having the ability to play.
Good chance here! Lacking in accuracy.
Well, it was going to take something a bit special from there, and that wasn't it.
Messi. Now, can they get him away? Decent chance! And he's cleared it out of harm's way. Mohamed Salah. Forlan. That has ended up in no man's land. Played out towards the right wing. Now it's Son Heung-min. Might be danger here. Dixon. Mateus. Now it's Mohamed Salah. Alvarez. Van Basten. The less said about that pass, the better. Chance, surely! Messi! Genius! A finish right from the top draw. First blood drawn. Oh, one moment you're in possession, the next you're picking the ball out of your own net. That one will sting.
Welcome to the reality of modern football, Peter. You get press from the front and you have no time on the ball whatsoever. You can't afford to switch off for a moment.
So the first goal of the game.
Well, this will present the manager with a few interesting options, Peter. Try sitting on this or push on with the opposition now forced to come out. Rummenigge really was well marshalled there because he was denied the opportunity to turn.
And that could set him on his way. And he's managed to get free.
Well, look, they know they've got a height advantage, and it's time for them to use it.
Paz getting this one clear. And now a sudden chance to counter. Oh, good read.
He read that really well and stopped it. Son Heung-min really needed to concentrate on
Mohamed Salah is on his own. Can he finish? It's in. They have hauled themselves right back into it.
Well, I always thought they had it in them, Peter. They upped the quality as needed, and once they got going, they were awfully hard to stop.
After 31 minutes.
And that really is so impressive.
I'm not making any apologies, but I was willing him to supply the finish, and he came up trumps.
And that has added a whole new complexion to the game.
Well, I'd happily watch this every week, Peter. This is exactly what you want from a big game.
Now it's Mohamed Salah. Great vision. Adams. Raul. Can he get on the end of this? Oh, Red, nice interception. Well, there is a look that says it all. A piercing stare.
Encouraged the pass with an intelligent run, but the pass just lacked pace.
Well seen. Saw that coming.
That's great positioning. So good from him.
Dunk kept aware, and it is reclaimed easily. Now it's Son Heung-min.
2 added minutes has been
Here's Van
indicated.
Basten. The ball is loose and the chase is on. Back into the middle. That's a simple one for the keeper. And it's half-time here. So it's all square. Neither side has been able to make a telling difference, but it hasn't been for the lack of trying. So your views on the first half?
Well, both sides would have expected a closely fought match, and that's pretty much what we've got so far. The early exchanges, I think, in this second half will be worth keeping an eye on to see if any adjustments have been made to change things.
So all square at half-time, each side matching the other blow for blow at the break. So we're just settling back into this second half. Messi. Now it's Son Heung-min. Raul. Oh, now here's an interesting matchup. Looks a smashing. And the finish! Oh, that was a half-decent effort.
Well, he's clearly in one of those moods. I think even he was asking perhaps a little too much from himself then.
Indonesia appear to be happy to let their front players stay up front all the time.
Well, it's signalling to the opposition that they're setting themselves up for the counter-attack. It's plain and simple.
And no, that is pretty much the end of that. And here's Mohamed Salah. He's going to be disappointed with that. And here's Mohamed Salah. Rummenigge receives it in a good position here. Alvarez. And it's Messi. It's a really well-measured ball. And this is Son Heung-min. Messi. It's Van Basten! Well, there's the clearance. And they've got a throw.
Substitution in progress.
Nicely intercepted. And it's Van Basten. Guardiol spots it and intercepts. Passing is crisp and sharp. No, not quite on the same wavelength. He has found the way through. Takes a shot! And he looked every bit the assured keeper there.
Really anticipated that well, didn't he? There's a defensive height advantage here, Peter, but of course it's not guaranteed to work.
Yeah, they need to be thinking in terms of guile, deception, don't they? Dunk attempts a clearance.
Well, there's no doubt that they want to win this, Peter. They'll have to maintain the energy and dynamism until the very end, though.
Mohamed Salah is onto this. That's a good ball out wide. Now it's Messi. That's been slipped through. Nice interception, well timed. Oh, there's a probing ball. Now it's Mohamed Salah. Paz. Well, that looks a decent ball. Oh, well played, well played.
Well, that might be that, Peter. Maybe both sides just going to have to settle for the draw now.
Now somewhat off target.
2 added minutes has been
Time
indicated.
added on will be 2 minutes. And he plays one through. He's picked his way through. Shapes to shoot! Oh, another save. Added time is up. And there goes the whistle. A good watch, a really good watch. Both sides toiling to try and outthink, outsmart each other. Well, football is, of course, ultimately just a game, but for the next 2 hours, it might not feel like that. The stadium is full of noise and energy. This certainly matters. Well, colour and passion just oozing from the stands here. These fans love their football, and we're about to be dished up a feast of it. And already we're underway here. So it's back! Off the post! Oh, he did the hard part right, but fluffed the finish.
Oh, it was such a clever pass that flummoxed the defence, and it could well be revisited, this.
And he's had it nicked away. Van Basten. Oh, that's well spotted. Rummenigge. And he's intervened well there. It could be in here. Oh, that's a foul, and the whistle's gone. And it's not taken him long, and that's going to be a booking.
Well, it was deliberate, it was cynical, and you have to understand the frustration of being denied a clear opportunity, but it had to be done.
What a start. Free kick in a dangerous position in the opening minutes. A real opportunity here from a position of great potential. Can he finish?
The keeper was likely to need his best there, and he found it.
And vicious ball here. Guardiola gets over and intercepts. Beckham puts his foot on the gas. It's loose now, and they want to get it. Tries from distance. And he's there to clear it. Nicely aimed pass. And it's Guardiola. Plenty of appeals, but the referee is not interested. Mateus. Lovely pass, but can he get there? He has found a way through. That was somewhat off target. So a third of the match, or thereabouts, gone, and we still await the first goal. There's no flag! There's a beautiful simplicity about this contest. Willing running on one side, dogged defence on the other. And he's worked it through. Oh, lovely feeding, is such a good mover. This is Pattis, he's having a shot! And he's really put himself on the line here. And we have our very first corner. And now they can spring out of defence. It's Guardiola. Oh, nicely intercepted. And that's been intercepted. He read that really well. That is Stuta! Oh, the ball's run loose here. Mohamed Salah. Oh, good-looking ball. The goal here would be the ultimate pick-me-up just before the break. That has not gone well. Eder Militao. And that's been won straight back. And there's green grass ahead of him. Eder Militao. Now there's a fine ball. Rummenigge. And this is Mohamed Salah. Mateus.
There will be 1 minute added
Oh, that's
time.
fabulous. Real chance here. Shapes to shoot! A really close shave, and the last action of the first half. So, a fascinating half, full of talking points, not least that last very, very late one. An engrossing half, but we're still where we started, 0-0. That gets things going for the second half. So neither side has yet broken through.
Well, he got rid because he was under pressure.
He's a player who has defined a generation. Now, can they get him away? That's been cut out, well played. Works it forward. Oh, it's Van Basten. And that pass just didn't quite work. Vitinha. Paz. And Mateus. Marquinhos makes the interception. So, Jim, is that the manager telling the forwards that they must stay forward for now?
Well, I think he just is concentrating on the shape here, and he wants them to...
Oh, he's been caught napping! And it's Chiellini. He's on it, can he get away? And that defending is unapologetically persistent, it's almost personal, and it had to be.
I'm struggling to work out whether that was brave or a bit stupid, maybe both actually.
Well, he was clearly disappointed with that pass.
Well, everything up to the final pass looked decent, they just couldn't pick out that...
Big chance! Now, who's going to be first to this? And he looked every bit the assured keeper there.
Batistuta is offering a wry smile there.
It's their second corner of the game. He's got through. He has done it. A wonderful delivery. All it needed was a touch.
Yeah, it all came from some really smart movement, Peter. Did the defence let themselves down by not picking him up? I think the boss won't be amused.
Number 99.
So we have the first goal.
Well, when the going gets tough, etc., they can still turn this round, I think.
Oh, good read.
That's great positioning. So good from him.
So, Jim, what are you thinking?
Well, considering they're only one down, they're closer to conceding a second than scoring a leveller.
And he was quick to react. Paz. Mateus. Good ball, good take. Rummenigge unable to make it happen for all his good intentions.
Look, they're prepared to be quite physical to contain any danger that might come their way. Keep calm and carry on. That's the job in a nutshell now.
Now he's got space here. That looks a cracking ball. And claimed it back swiftly. It is looking like the end. If anything's going to happen, it's got to happen now.
At least they're going about it as they should, having brought this on themselves.
He's through here.
Well, it's probably safe to say now, Peter, that it's going to be all about game management from here.
Paz.
There
The
will be
message
1
is
minute
clear.
at
None
time.
shall pass. Mateus. So that's it. It is all over. Quite a game, and one that was always on a knife edge until the very final whistle. No shortage of endeavour, effort, at times. So bring it on. Hype, expectation, emotion. The game yet to kick off. The excitement already palpable. Expectations and decibels both rising fast here. Things are heating up and we'll be getting underway very soon. There's the whistle. Jim, which player is best equipped for this game?
This guy, Declan Rice, is a player I really rate. With him, you get exactly what it says on the box. A workhorse defensive midfielder who likes to stay in the deeper part of midfield, knowing his primary job is to make sure he shuts down any build-up play in that area.
Yes, they'll certainly be leaning heavily on him. Well, that looks a decent ball. And here's Mohamed Salah. Can he get it through? Oh, it's inches away from being a really good ball. Fernando Torres. Well, that is one way to stop him. Kimmich promptly onto that, and that is that. It's a really well-measured ball. Well seen, saw that coming.
He read that really well and stopped it.
Beckham unable to make it happen for all his good intentions. He's done very well to take that back. Oh, he's managed to get himself offside. The pressing's intense and it's paid off. Well, there's your danger man, a title that is entirely justified. Rummenigge played out to the right. So a third of the match or thereabouts gone, and we still await the... There's the shot! And he's done it! There is the breakthrough! It is a good finish. The odds were against him. Little matter.
Yeah, he won the jostle, and it was a very good finish, and I think he'll go away feeling pretty good about that one.
So the first moment of real significance.
Well, I guess this ought to make things interesting. Now before to play a more open and riskier game. Well, he was given the time and room.
Vitinha! Oh, just lacked a decent finish.
Vitinha most definitely hit it with a lot of venom and little control. It carried hardly any danger.
Konate. Time and again they are repelled. Can he get on the end of this? He's found... He's had a shot! And the keeper has reacted superbly there.
Mohamed Salah is offering a wry smile there. The taker has to look for options because an aerial supply...
He's got full! Just off target. Pinches it off him. And the two sides separated by the game's only breakthrough moment to this point, and the score is 1-0. Ah, that's a fine interception.
I wouldn't fancy playing up front in these circumstances, to be honest. There's absolutely no supply.
Some really good ball movement. Here's the whistle for half-time. There's been no shortage of industry or intent thus far. A little inspiration and inventiveness, perhaps the only things lacking.
Yeah, on the face of it, it looks a fair reflection of what we've all seen, Peter. Some incisive play one side, battling qualities on the other. I think this game is there to be won, and a minor tweak maybe all it needs to change it.
Leading a cagey game here. It's had its moments, and it's 1-0 at the break. So we're just settling back into this second half.
Well, if you're ahead, it's a good time to start moving the ball quicker, Peter. Entice your opponents out. See if you can open them up a bit more.
That's been intercepted. Now, can they get him away? Oh, well measured. He's having a shot! Oh, it's fallen loose again! It's a goal! Two up now, and they are cruising. Some heroic goalkeeping, but even that couldn't save them this time.
Well, they say all goalkeepers are crazy, and after that, maybe there's some truth in it.
Shoots! And again! And he hits the net! Back within one! They have them in their sights again! And a trademark move ends with the inevitable classy finish.
Well, it's an example of counter-attacking at its finest. Real cut and thrust.
Manchester United get themselves back into contention.
What a difference a half-time rocket from the manager can make. This is exactly the response he'd be looking for.
He's on it. Can he get away? And that interception was most necessary.
That was well played, well stopped.
And claimed it back swiftly. Aimed beyond the defence. So, Jim, is that the manager telling the forwards that they must stay forward for now?
Well, I think he just is concentrating on the shape here, and he wants them to press as high as they can and get in the right position to do that collectively.
They want to be quick to recover this. That's good vision. That is good alertness. Deftly away. And this is Van Nistelrooy. Mateus. Oh, Red, nice interception.
I think the message here is quite clear, Peter. They want another one and will seemingly keep going until they get it.
Costa Curta calmly anticipates. And they've got Reed. Saliba. Passes coming off in quick succession here. And that was very necessary. I think we're just about done here. Looking to play him in. He's got plenty of space out wide here. And this is Mohamed Salah. And the shot! And kept out by the most elastic of saves.
Really anticipated that well, didn't he?
It's their second corner of the game. Now, what about this cross? Good running, strong and purposeful. Nicely weighted ball.
You can never be short of runners into space, as long as the space left behind is filled.
And that will be the final act. Well, that was close. Both sides playing their part in a great game of football. A real ride that had all of us glued to our seats. The noise is just about reaching a crescendo here as these two sides get ready to lock horns. This is football at its finest. Well, the pre-match build-up has been fantastic. Now, the game itself. So it's away we go then. Alessandro Costa Curta just did what you call a classic thing. Has a shot! Oh, within an inch or two.
Well, he overcooked that one, aiming for perfection, and he got it slightly wrong.
Costa Curta. And he cuts out the supply. Azar. Rijkaard. That has been cut short. Salah. Oh, that's sweet, almost telepathic.
That's positional goals, the utilisation of space.
Well, that's beautifully weighted. And there's the clearance. Costa Curta. Rijkaard. Pass is coming off in quick succession here. And he has slightly undercooked that one.
Well, I think the opposition saw that pass coming a mile off, and it wasn't the best decision.
That's really well manoeuvred. And here's Azar. Well, the defence proved infallible then, but that won't be the last they'll see of him. Now it's Mohamed Salah, knocks it into space. Neither side yet able to find the net. Now it's Azar. No question, this is the man you want to get onto the end of things. Oh, lovely bit of skill. An instinct, big header! Goal! Botafogo! There is the breakthrough. Terrific header. He met that with aplomb.
Yeah, but I think most of the credit has to go for the ball into the box, Peter. Just came in at the perfect time and the perfect angle.
Botafogo have taken the lead.
Well, I guess this ought to make things interesting, Peter. No doubt the opposition will now be forced to play a more open and riskier game.
And it's Vitinha. Tries to play it through. I think that's offside. Yes, it is. Well timed, excellent interception. Paz. Mohamed Salah. And he's there to belt it away. Mateus. Passing is crisp and sharp. Mohamed Salah! Just off target.
Mohamed Salah really looked as though he had chosen correctly then, and yet we quickly realised he hadn't.
And it's Beckham. Rijkaard. Beckenbauer. And Adams. That's a good intervention. That was what he had to make in the face of danger that was growing. Beckham. And we've reached half-time. Well, there were plenty of talking points in that first half, but just the one goal. It's still anybody's game here.
It's a dressing room that needs rousing at half-time because, in truth, they've not really been at it so far. If the pep talk works, we may see a very different side second half. We need to.
And the game has already resumed here.
Cerezo Osaka really need to bring up their intensity and rhythm a notch or two, Peter. Just looked a step too slow on everything.
Played out wide. Hazard. Paz. Mohamed Salah. No, that was never going to make it. Adams. Rummenigge. Botafogo are looking to play on the counter here, aren't they?
Well, I think it's pretty clear they've changed their shape, and certainly when defending at least, because they've got to be ready to hit them hard on the counter-attack, and that seems to be the plan.
Costa Curta clears. It's a good spell of possession, this. Well, the defence just about came out on top, but they were certainly tested. Oh, this looks sharp. Hazard will not want to lose out here, not against this opponent. It's Hazard! Oh, belter! That is a gem! An absolute gem! And there we have it, the two-goal cushion. A moment that needed composure, and he had plenty of it.
That's just clever. He made the keeper think he was going one way, only to outfox him by going the other. Very nice.
And he's done it again. He's got his second. And he's had a hit. The crowd reaction tells you just how close that was.
Well, I think the defence are breathing a big sigh of relief here. He really spanked that, and it wasn't far away at all.
Beckham. Kiatisuk is a player who's always giving defenders headaches. That's very neat. There's some great running on show here, but ultimately there was no way through. Back into the middle. Oh, that pass isn't the best.
Well, they can at least make a fight of it. Even if it's just a goal, the lift it would give would be huge no matter what the end result is.
Costa Curta did well to emerge with the ball. That's a Kiatisuk! Euphoria, utopia, and they are cavorting. And they are cruising away. Calm, composed, confident. What a super goal.
Well, he's a defender's nightmare. You try to send him one way, and he just slips the other.
Probing pass. And that's another good win of the ball. Quality ball. Now it's Mohamed Salah.
2 added minutes has been indicated.
And he can clear it away. And the referee brings it to a close. Well, that was thrilling. A game of champs and chumps. The winners were so good at times. Oh, what a sight this is. The colour, the choreography, the camaraderie. The fans have pulled out all the stops to make this a monumental occasion. Well, the pre-match build-up has been fantastic. Now, the game itself.
And we're underway.
Jim, you've played in games of this nature. Who can make the difference?
Trent Alexander-Arnold is one of the more productive players around, despite being a defender. When you look at his stats and see his contributions, you can realise how key a player he really is. And I suppose in many ways you can call him the perfect example of the modern fullback.
Yeah, he'll certainly... He's had a shot! And he was there to get a vital touch.
Really looked sharp there, didn't he? That's very well played.
Barcelona with the corner, there first. And it's been taken short. Turns and goes back. And now a sudden chance to counter. And that interception was most necessary.
That's great positioning, so good from him.
Ødegaard showed plenty of zest in getting to the ball, but couldn't quite sort it out. Oh, good read.
That was well played, well stopped.
So a third of the match, or thereabouts, gone, and we still await the first goal. Oh, he's managed to get himself offside. Kimmich. Looking for options for movement. Well, quality clearly deserted him at the crucial moment.
Encouraged the pass with an intelligent run, but the pass just lacked pace.
Oh, Red, nice interception. Rummenigge. Vitinha is the team's great visionary. Ricci. Bernardo Silva. He's looking wide. Cannavaro. Mateus. Hazard. Ødegaard. Now there's a fine ball. Out of play for a goal kick. Oh, good spread. That's the throw. Hazard. Well, there's your danger man, a title that is entirely justified. Rummenigge. And he's intervened well there. Alexander-Arnold. Now it's Bernardo Silva. Now it's Ødegaard. He's a sharp little ball here. And a goal here just before half-time could mean a great deal. Rummenigge. Now it's Mohamed Salah. Half-time getting close now. Ødegaard. Ricci. Played out to the left flank. Nice control. And it's Camavinga.
There will be 1 minute added time.
Can he finish? It's run loose. Who's going to get there? And we've reached half-time. A decent enough half, but either side able to get on the score sheet. Time for some fresh ideas in the second period, perhaps. Any opinion you'd like to express on the first half?
Well, it's been nothing but frustration, really, Peter. I think the team as a whole has to take more risks, but they really need to up their quality too.
No goals at this stage, but certainly not devoid of action. It is 0-0 here at half-time. And we're underway again.
Well, I can imagine both managers have been in the ears of the players. They want more. Let's hope the game comes to life sooner rather than later.
Ødegaard knocks it out wide. And here's Hazard. Ricci.
That pressing is so good. It's nice and early.
And Guardiol. And it's Richie. Odegaard. And here's Ramos. Look at the and the shot! Sticks it away! Just the pick-me-up the whole game needs! Simplicity itself.
And his manager couldn't look happier. That's the kind of interplay they've been working on in training, and it came up beautifully.
Barcelona have taken the lead.
Well, it looks like a bit of half-time encouragement was all that was needed, because we have a very different game on our hands now, Peter.
Elbow goal needing to go up a gear. Rummenigge! They've scored! And the lead lost no time at all.
Yeah, since going a goal down, they've dug in to produce a really fine spell, which for me deserved that equaliser.
They forced the error and extracted the maximum punishment.
Well, a little more decisiveness on the ball, and that probably wouldn't have happened, but still.
Could be danger here. Rummenigge face to face. Oh, shooting chance! He's got a goal! And the game is well and truly turned on its head. And he stuck it away as if laser guided.
He had the whole picture in his head, Peter. He didn't even look at the goalkeeper.
Well, this is what we've been waiting for.
This is wonderful front-footed football. The manager will be absolutely thrilled to see his team clicking in every department.
He's having a shot! In he goes again. And he's really put himself on the line here. Corner number 2 then. And it's Odegaard. Richie. Played back towards his own goal.
Well, there's plenty to like about this approach. Get your head down, keep battling away, and eventually things might change for you.
Camavinga. Messi. Guardiol defending his corner stubbornly, stood up very well to his man. And it's Alexander-Arnold. Well cut out, no margin for error there at all. Oh, super ball! Decent chance! And he's gone looking for safety. Challenged just a bit on the firm side.
Barcelona really don't have it.
Little doubt, that is a foul. And that's going to be a booking. Driving forward. Now this could be a chance.
Such good technique.
He has found the way through.
4 added
Shot a
minutes.
goal! He has done it! We thought it was over. It's all square once more. The angle was unkind, but he has hit the spot.
Peter, you have to have a certain imagination to produce the incredible, and that was incredible.
All square again into the dying... And time is up. A good watch, more than a good watch actually, certainly from a sporting perspective. It lacks winner of course, but the crowd largely satisfied. Well, football is, of course, ultimately just a game, but for the next 2 hours, it might not feel like that. The stadium is full of noise and energy. This certainly matters. And the mood is boisterous. It is a perfect ambience for the central characters who are ready now to perform. Well, if you did just miss it, we are up and running already.
When you have Edwin van der Sar.
Mbappe! And he looked every bit the assured keeper there.
Well, someone's doing his job properly, Peter, that's for sure.
And we have our very first corner. And he thumps it clear. Oh, now he takes the shot! And kept out by the most elastic of saves.
Elise clearly thought he had the beating of the keeper.
Manchester United have their second corner now. Cleared away. And now a sudden chance to counter. Rijkaard gets a foot in here. Rijkaard. Now it's Mbappe. And he shoots! Mohamed Salah. No, that's been intercepted. And it's Bernardo Silva. Bernardo Silva. And here's Elise. He's gone for goal! Oh, just lacked a decent finish.
Manchester United really are good at what they're doing. They'll gladly take any opportunity to launch that counter.
Succumbs to the pressure. Neymar. And this is Hazard. Oh, shooting chance! Oh, Manchester United! Manchester United take the lead. Oh, one moment you're in possession, the next you're picking the ball out of your own net. That one will sting.
Peter, they should just never have lost the ball from there, but you have to give credit and fairness to the front-footed pressing too. Made things quite uncomfortable for them.
So we have our breakthrough.
Well, I think the next 5 to 10 minutes will call for real focus as the opposition will inevitably react. Well, I wouldn't quite advise they should resort to risk-taking at this stage. There's plenty of time left yet.
Now, can they get him away? Roberto Carlos. And here's Mohamed Salah. Lovely pass, but can he get there? There's some great running on show here, but ultimately there was no way through. Can he finish? He has done it! And they're at it again in double quick time. One sweeping move, executed with deadly efficiency.
Just when they thought they may be in at one end, they end up shipping a goal at the other, and it's all due to wonderful counter.
Chance! Just cruising! They are cruising! They are really purring here, and they have extended their lead in the blink of an eye. They forced the error and extracted the maximum punishment.
Well, a little more decisiveness on the ball and that probably wouldn't have happened, but still, it was very well played. Great pressure to force the error.
And yes, it's him again. Manchester United find a position of real strength now.
Well, it's been an absolutely fabulous spell for them, and they're starting to look unstoppable. There could be more on the way.
Dealt with nicely by the defence.
There will be 3
Vitinha.
minutes added time.
Roberto Carlos looking to play him in. Hazard. And the whistle goes for half-time. Well, that was as one-sided as it gets. Only one side have shown up here, and they're just tearing it up at will. And we're underway again.
Well, things just haven't quite clicked, Peter, have they? They're behind, and they deserve to be.
And the shot! It's anyone's ball now.
will simply have to tip his hat to the keeper here because that was a magnificent save.
Costa Curta. Played into space. Played into space out wide. Well, quality clearly deserted him at the crucial moment.
Well, the pass wasn't good enough, and he knows it.
Can he finish? Goal! It could be a lifeline. 2 more needed. Wonderfully smooth, smart, and slick.
It was wonderful vision to see the movement ahead. And how about the weight of that pass? Ideal.
So is this the start of a comeback? That's really well cleared. Knocks it into space. And a chance! And that is certainly not what he had in mind. Bernardo Silva. Manchester United looking to pass their way through. Well, he's been caught up, shot and goal! And would have been quick to recover this. And he has kept it out somehow.
Yeah, he was well placed to deal with that.
Corner number 3 coming up. And it's hoisted clear. And now they can spring out of defence. He's going to be disappointed with that. That's a nicely shaped ball. Real chance! Really well taken goal. And they are tearing the opposition apart here. Simply breathtaking stuff. And that is about as cool as they come. He picked his spot expertly.
Just way too good, Peter. The keeper was never going to stop it.
It's starting to look like a done deal now. Now it's Mohamed Salah, and he welcomes it in. Cross, he gets big. Decent attempt, but not quite good enough. Costa Curta. Closing in on the last quarter of an hour. Oh, super ball. He's been taken down, and the referee has pointed at the spot. So a big chance now from 12 yards. He'll know exactly where he wants to put it. And that's one back. Not a twitch, not a blink.
You know, he would have been embarrassed had the keeper held his position there.
So, just a consolation, or is there a way back from here? Oh, and they're quick to press here, right on top of them. Bernardo Silva. Oh, nicely intercepted. Kimmich. Pass is coming off in quick succession here. Rummenigge. And the shot! And no, he couldn't find the finish.
That's more like it. They have to force the issue, and that's the way to do it.
That pass isn't the best. That's a cute ball. Skillfully cut out. He is so at ease on the ball. And this is Hazard. Oh, just skips past his man. Shoots! And that would have been some goal.
Hazard, it really shows some outlandish skills, which is always welcome and obviously refreshing.
Neymar.
Has been indicated.
Neymar going full steam ahead down the left flank. Mohamed Salah. Can he get on the end of this?
It's the sort of situation that they'll want to capitalise on now.
He's found a way through. It's Salah! And he nearly went all the way.
Well, Well, it came to nothing in the end, but it certainly got the crowd going.
Marquinhos. No unnecessary risks, and the game is petering out here. Added time is up, and there goes the whistle. Well, that's a tough one. Losing is never good, but this one